The Trey Young situation is becoming one of the most disrespectful things in the entire NBA. Now, if you're not up to date with it, what I am saying is the fact that there's no teams that will trade for this hairy lollipop ass player. Like, I understand, look, he's short. He's only 6'1", and his defense isn't the greatest. But to act like this dude isn't one of the best guards in the NBA is absurd, and the reason I'm saying that a lot of people are disrespecting him is because of the complete lack of want to trade for a guy like him. Despite him being on the market for months at this point, we have heard almost zero rumors about him, and really the only news we get is the fact that Trey Young, there's no market for him. And that is, in my opinion, just absurd, because there is plenty of situations that he would greatly improve. Because let me just kind of name a few stats here for you. Okay, if I told you there was a guy on the trade market who at only 25 years old, just last year, finished 13th in points per game and 2nd in assists per game, and also in his career made 1 All-NBA team, 3 All-Star games, and since he has been drafted in 2018, has been able to score the 14th most points since the 2018 season, beating out guys like Anthony Davis, Paul George, De'Aaron Fox, Karl Anthony Towns, and Jaylen Brown, and players like that, on top of also, since 2018, where he was drafted, being 4th in assists since the 2018 season, only being beat out by guys like James Harden, Nikola Jokic, and Russell Westbrook, all 3 of which have won MVPs in the past. And he's above guys like Chris Paul, LeBron, Luka, Dame, Drew, Kyle Lowry, and everyone else in the NBA when it comes to assists. And that guy is Trey Young, okay? It is absurd that no teams will trade for him, and it's not like his contract or anything is absurdly high, and it's also not like teams, there's just no suitors. There are plenty of suitors who would greatly improve to have a guy like Trey Young on their team. As I think the biggest reason why no one is trading for him is because there's this kind of misconception around him that he is a selfish player. And in my opinion, that is simply not true. You can't say his style of play doesn't lead to winning. The motherfucker made it to an Eastern Conference Finals not that long ago and lost in 6 games to the team that won the NBA Finals in the Milwaukee Bucks that year. And then also, he's also just shown that he is a hell of a player, and his way of basketball does lead to winning when you can put an actual good team around him. Unfortunately, even the year he made the Eastern Conference Finals, probably the best player he's ever played with is John Collins before DeJounte Murray, and I didn't think DeJounte Murray would be a good fit with him when they traded for him. So even the 1 star they got around him just did not fit with them at all, and it didn't make any sense. So if you could just get Trey Young in a situation where he could fit and actually make the team better around him by his passing ability and his scoring ability, that would go a very long way. And I think he could greatly improve plenty of situations. I mean, look, 2 top 3, really 4 situations that I think would greatly improve would be the Miami Heat, the Phoenix Suns, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the San Antonio Spurs. Now, all these situations would greatly benefit from a guy having the skill set of an elite scorer who is also an elite level passer as well. So I just think it is absurd that no one wants to even put out a package for him, and we have gotten such little news about him as of late. And like I said earlier, it's probably not even like the Atlanta Hawks are asking for a lot. We just saw what they traded DeJounte Murray away for, okay? They got Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr., and that is basically it. They also got EJ Liddell, but let's be honest, that's nothing. Like, they basically got 2 okay role players for one of the best 2-way guards in the league. And I'm not sure they got, I think they got a 2nd round pick or something like that. They didn't get a lot of draft capital either. They're obviously trying to get rid of these players to rebuild for the future because the next draft coming up is absolutely stacked with talent. So they're trying to get as bad as possible, obviously. But no one will trade for Trey Young, so they're in a very weird situation right now. And I think the fact that that is just absurd, because let's just break down some of these, like, suitors or potential suitors for a guy like Trey Young in the trade market. The first one, and probably the most far-fetched one, is going to be the Miami Heat. Now, at least the Miami Heat, they already have a guy like Scary Materi, okay? Terry Rozier makes this a little bit harder to do. You'd probably have to trade him in order to get Trey Young, but I think if you could combine Bam and Trey Young in a pick and roll, that would be unbelievable. And then on top of that, you still have Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, and other guys on the roster that I really like. Khalil Ware, who I love, is probably going to going to be coming off their bench for them. So I think that they could really be cooking with something if they were able to pull off a trade like that, especially if you're still able to maintain and keep most of your core guys like you should be able to do, because Trey Young is probably going to be going for a discounted rate. And if you could make a big three of Trey Young, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo, in my opinion, that team could probably go very far, as they've already went far without Trey Young in the past, obviously. And the main reason I don't think that this one specifically will probably happen is because, the Miami Heat are extremely defensive oriented, grit and grind, hustle guys. Now, although Trey Young definitely does have that chip on his shoulder and that kind of will to win, I don't think they probably like his lack of defensive ability, but he does, I think, fit personality-wise with the Miami Heat, so I wouldn't be surprised if he is a suitor with them, and I think he would actually fit them very well and could make this team extremely fun to watch going into the future due to his elite passing and due to how well I think he would fit with this team, and just mentality-wise, I think he fits with them very, very well. And then, for a team like the Phoenix Suns, I think, would once again be a team that would greatly benefit from having a guy like Trey Young, because let's be honest, it's not like they're an elite defensive team with a defensive mentality with guys like Booker, Bill, and all of them. I think it would actually benefit them if they traded Bill for a guy like Trey Young, because Bill and Booker, in my opinion, just don't work. They're the same player. Now, yes, Booker is better, but they play the exact same way. So it's never going to really work, as they both need the ball in their hand for it to really be effective. But if you trade Bradley Beal for a guy like Trey Young, who, yes, still likes to have the ball in his hand, but is a much better passer than Bradley Beal can be, and they would give them a real true point guard, that would make the team cohesion way better, and I think it would really make them work better, because we saw last year, Kevin Durant didn't look right with him. They never looked comfortable as a team. Now, that was due to injury, and their chemistry never really got to go there, but I also don't think that they just fit together from a scheme perspective and how they play together. But if you get a true point guard like Trey Young, not only are you not losing any offense, because I would say Trey Young is a better player at this point than Bradley Beal, I don't think you can really debate that, but you're also getting a guy who can help you just run your offense better because of his passing ability. And it's not like Bradley Beal is some elite defender, so you're not losing a lot on the defensive end there either. So Phoenix Suns, it would make perfect sense for them to make a deal like that, because it would make them work so much better together. And then, even for the Los Angeles Lakers, it would only make sense for them to trade for Mr. Trey Young, because Trey Young is literally just a better version of what D'Angelo Russell provides for the Lakers. Now, yes, they aren't very similar players, at least not in all aspects of how they play, but they would pretty much serve the same purpose on the Lakers. And Trey Young is obviously a better player than D'Lo, and I think if you could make that upgrade, you have to do it if you're the Lakers. Look, LeBron may be able to play, though he's 130 years old, but eventually he's going to need to leave and retire, and he doesn't have many years left on him. And look, Bronny James and Dalton Connect is not enough of an improvement to make you a finals contending team from what you were last year. So I think getting a guy like Trey Young to really form a big three over there would be extremely valuable, because now you're getting LeBron, one of the best passers in the NBA, and you're pairing them two up, which would be one of the best passing duos in the league. And then now you have even more lob threats to go with Anthony Davis, because now LeBron and Trey Young can both give you those lobs. And then on top of that, their defense is already so good with Anthony Davis and LeBron. It's not like Trey Young is going to make them a bad defensive team. And then lastly, with them just getting JJ Redick as their coach, he knows how to make a guy get open and make plays for guys to get open, and Trey Young should greatly benefit from that as well. And then lastly, they don't have a true point guard on this roster, so it would help tremendously for them to get one. And I just think Trey Young would improve the level of this team tremendously going forward. And then the last situation I want to get into is going to be the San Antonio Spurs. And it literally, I know I've been saying this and I probably sound like a broken damn record, but it only makes sense for them to go after Trey Young, because the Spurs, one, have been one of the few teams consistently linked to Trey Young, but two, because it would form what they already want the team to be. They signed Chris Paul because they want an elite passer to go with Victor Wembanyama, which makes complete sense. But at this point in their careers, Trey Young is a better passer than Chris Paul. Now, am I saying he's a better all-time passer? No. Am I saying that he's a better all-time player? No. Chris Paul fans, get off my dick, okay? But I'm saying, as of right now, Trey Young is the better player, and he even ranks above him in assists since they were drafted by about 200. So Trey Young is just simply a better passer than Chris Paul at this point in their career. But despite that, I still think that he just makes so much sense with the Spurs. Because one, like I said, the pick and roll would be disgusting with them two. And then on top of that, they're on the same timetable. Trey Young is 25 years old. He still has about 5, 6, 7 years of elite basketball left in him, while Victor Wembanyama will only be getting better over that time. Compare that with guys like Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sochan, Stefan Castle. They all added on this team. This team could be very good in the very near future. Harrison Barnes as well. You could legitimately be a dark horse contender if they traded for Trey Young and only had to get rid of a guy like Keldon Johnson, or only had to get rid of a few guys on their bench. They could legitimately become dark horse contenders, especially in the future as Wembanyama continues to get better and better and better. And I just think overall, it would just make so much sense for them to trade for Trey Young. It is unbelievable, and I just think it is so disrespectful that he is getting such little interest in the trade market as he is currently getting. But that's basically all I wanted to say in this video, so comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you think Trey Young's being disrespected? Do you think a team should trade for him? Who do you think should trade for him? I want your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like, point to like button, subscribe button, mean the absolute word to me, and I hope you have a blessed day, because I had a blessed day, so you need to have a blessed day. All glory to God. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah.